The following marketing information and discussion is provided for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as professional guidance or consultancy. You should find an agency for that. Comexis is a digital marketing agency, so feel free to hire us, but otherwise, just enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Buyer's Journey by Comexis, a discussion-based podcast on the ever-changing marketing landscape. I'm Matthew McGordy, the social media content producer here at Comexis.
I am Len Ward, the managing partner at Comexis.
And I'm Josh Lyons, the digital marketing coordinator here at Comexis.
So today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we talk about the purchase stage of the buyer's journey. And in particular today we are talking about Google adding some new features for advertisers that are aimed at allowing you to promote deals and even drive in-store purchases through a couple different facets of their advertising platform. And all this information is coming from Ginny Marvin on Search Engine Land. You will find a link to her blog post in our podcast description and on our blog. But a lot of really interesting, cool updates that they're going to be doing, coincidentally, around Prime Day. And by coincidentally, I mean I don't think it's particularly coincidental. But Prime Day is next week, so there's a couple new features coming to Google for those of you who are looking to take advantage of it. So the first one is seasonality adjustments. So if you have a sale or promotion coming and anticipate a jump in conversion rates, you can use seasonality adjustments to signal Google's smart bidding system to prepare for the increase and adjust more quickly. Basically, it makes sure that Google is made aware that you are probably going to have a jump in conversions, so it doesn't kind of clog them or stop them or something like that. You could do in-market audience segments in categories such as beauty, sports, education, and real estate. They also included 30 new retail categories. In-market audiences are search grouped based on a purchase intent, which is signaled by user search and browsing behavior. You can have calls for local campaigns. This one's actually pretty interesting. So local campaigns, they launched a little bit last year. They're basically automated campaign formats that are aimed at driving traffic to physical locations. So they run across Google Search, Maps, YouTube, Display Network, etc. Now you can actually set them so that people will, instead of coming to your business, they will call your business and you will have that transaction that way. I'm assuming that would be good for something like a lawyer, a doctor, something where just appearing isn't always the best bet to get your service done properly. There's also going to be group locations for local campaign messaging, so advertisers can set up group locations, which are basically subsets of locations that you can tailor budgets and messaging for specific locations based on in-store promotions and sales schedules. So if you're a Walmart and you're having an in-store promotion in New Jersey, you can set it easily that way instead of obviously doing it worldwide. Obviously, Walmart's kind of a big example, so that's not really not the best example I could give, but obviously if you have multiple locations, it's definitely something you want to sort of keep an eye on. And then we also have promotions and LIAs, which are local inventory ads. So they're shopping ads that feature products available in stores located near the searcher. So now you'll be able to have promotions, basically highlight special offers, different promotions, things like that. And then there's a sign up in our blog that you can do to get whitelisted by this. So a lot of this was mostly just some nice tweaks and improvements to people looking e-commerce wise, for example. Basically in the wake of Prime Day coming, but definitely some interesting changes. What do we think about this, guys?
All right, so my take on this is a little more in depth than I think, if you were to look at this from a topical standpoint, just kind of glance over it. One of the biggest issues that Google's facing is the amount of ad dollars that's being pulled away from Google from an e-com standpoint and being moved over to Amazon. So this would be a logical step to try to grab more quote-unquote shopping dollars for products locally. So they're actually doing some things that Amazon really can't do. So Google's actively trying to set up ads that are pushing people to certain locations. I don't know if some of these locations, if you can purchase the product and deliver it and so forth, but I think Google's beginning to flex its muscle a little bit from a local standpoint regarding advertising. As much as we think Amazon's taken over the world, Google still has a major platform that is quite honestly stronger than Amazon right now. They control all the local marketplace as to where it's at. In time, Amazon's goal is to overtake the local marketplace and everything's delivered within the hour and so forth. But right now, Google can control that. And that's the one way they can combat decreasing pay-per-click dollars, decreasing display dollars that are going towards an e-com based business. So Google's like, fine, if you want to take those dollars, we'll take those dollars. Or you can take those dollars for products that can get shipped to a house. I think this is more geared towards the service-based business. The business where, clothing, you want to go in and pick up clothing or sneakers, whatever it may be, where you can still leverage the brick and mortar store, and I think this is Google's way in which you can lever the brick and mortar store. So if you are a local business and you do have an Amazon platform, you can still run your ads on platform, but this is another great way to get people in the front door. There's a lot of automation to it, so this is something I probably would recommend an agency running for you for a little bit if you don't have in-depth knowledge of pay-per-click, or Google Pay products. But I do think this is something where honestly the small business owner probably could run on their own, much like certain types of Facebook and Instagram paid campaigns in the near future. So I think just in a nutshell, by taking a look at this, I think this is Google's way to push back a little bit on the amount of money that Amazon has been taking. And quite honestly, with a lot of the things that are happening with Google right now and the news that's coming out, I don't fully know when this is going to be released. Well, they're saying, I guess by the end of the year it'll be released. All of this is all coming out.
Well, it depends on the
depends what the product
feature,
is.
Because there's a couple features that are coming to the U.S. and then globally are going to be released. But most of these features, I believe, are out and ready for people to start using basically as soon as possible.
So as you so as you allocate your ad dollars, and if you're we have a local client, I would now start allocating quite a bit of my ad dollars to something like this. I think this is actually a really good thing to start moving some of the ad dollars towards. So that's strong.
Yeah.
This is a very heavy consideration campaign. We do mark this consideration campaign, right?
Purchase consideration. If you're on Google, you're in the consideration campaign. Let's be honest. I put this in purchase because at the end of the day, you are making the purchase typically based off of things like these. So consideration purchase.
I think you're right. No, because you even had deals near me, and stuff like that. That's really interesting, though, that the amount of searches Google's saying that's increased by 250% since 2017 is on sale near me. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of these will be really good for boutique shops, I think in particular, or small mom and pop businesses too. But I think when you have the combination of trying to get people into your store, I feel like running an ad like this is more likely to make it happen compared to buying on Amazon, because you probably have a product that maybe you can't get on Amazon. Yeah. Or it might be a little priced up because some of these are, deals and things like that. But I completely agree. I feel like small businesses are really going to be able to take some pretty good advantage of this, especially if they aren't on Amazon or something like that, and they only have whatever their online
products
shop
that are on their shelves.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, so I agree. So it's funny. I just had a conversation today earlier where, there was a great article, and I forget who said it, so it must have not been that great, but. I read a little while ago, somebody made a comment about how, there's going to be a time in the next couple of years when you really don't have to do SEO anymore. And Google's really going to know, exactly how to rank your site and so forth. And, you can go to other podcasts, talk about SEO. But I think, this is, if you are an individual who is doing a lot of this for a living, like a lot of pay-per-click and a lot of strategy and so forth, Google is automating this stuff. And, you would think, okay, well, they're making it easier for everybody. And they are. And they're obviously trying to get more people in to advertise, and obviously drive more revenue to their top line, which goes to the bottom line as well. But, as an agency owner, it's a little bit concerning. I do think Google is, more and more getting to the point where, once they perfect this stuff, it is a little concerning as an agency owner as to, what is the future of, the pay-per-click industry, the SEO industry, and so forth. So I don't think I know agencies will take ownership of this stuff fairly quickly, and I think this is something that will work very well with on clients and so forth. But if you're a small business and you have a little bit of time to dedicate to this, obviously it's a nice little thing for Google. But the long-term impact of this, I definitely think, helps small businesses be able to advertise more and get have a little more strategy to it. And I do think there'll be some long-term impact on people who maybe their living is freelance pay-per-click, freelance digital marketing, and so forth. So, Google's kind of maybe taking a little bit more from the pie on the agencies per se. It's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's fair. One thing I forgot to mention that's also in this piece is that they're going to have asset reporting for local campaigns. So basically, you're going to be able to see how creative elements, your headlines, descriptions, images are performing. Apparently, these are only going to be labeled such as good and best, and I guess I'm assuming also bad. So they're actually not going to be particularly granular in their details, but that is just one more thing. I know personally, I think that would be pretty interesting. Obviously, at the end of the day, if you're doing things like A/B testing, the results are probably what's going to show you what creative is being good or bad at the time. But still, if for some reason you're not able to get that granular in the data, if you're a small business, for example, then that's definitely something that might be helpful to you. Josh, what do you think about this?
I mean, I think it shows that not only is Google continuing to update and sort of just hone in on new ways to help advertise. But like Glenn said, I think it really helps for localized businesses that are really trying, that might not get the same exposure that bigger businesses get online. So it allows, like you said, for lawyers and doctors and these small businesses to use, for example, like the calls for local campaigns, and it allows people to, you can really hone in on how can I get people to call my business, because that's where the majority of my traffic comes, because you're not going online and purchasing anything. So I just think it's something where not only are they fighting against Amazon, because they're putting it out on one of the biggest Amazon days of the year, and I guess biggest weeks of the year with Prime Day, but it's also helping, it's helping people that aren't as tech savvy in digital marketing to sort of get an extra boost in helping their business, along with having agencies like us take advantage of these new features to help others as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, that's all for today's episode of The Buyer's Journey. Check us out on Comexis.com, YouTube, and anywhere you get your podcast. And please follow us on Twitter at buyers_journey. And if you'd like to hear a little bit more about Prime Day, tomorrow's episode is going to be all focused on that and what you can do with your email marketing campaigns to get a little boost, little edge on one of the busiest e-commerce days of the year. So definitely check that out. Thanks for listening.